Ndeba ekene m unu. Asịkwa m ka echiri ya zelu. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good night. It depends your time and your location. You are joining us today at Eastern News 24. Asịkwa m ka Chukwu oke abịa ma pụrụ m ihe niile gọzie ụmụ Biafra na mgbe ikpeazụ Biafra ya abịa. Ana Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ga-ewere onwe ya ise. Alright, oze wetelu unu bụ from Rise TV. Gee ntị ọfụma. Ifeanyi and Abati were ife mere spools chọrọ ime na 26 and ọ bụ na ife a mee ife a na-akpọ nke a bụ wọtọwọtọ ka ọ ya abụkwa. Gee ntị ọfụma ka ịnụ dị expose emelu Tinubu maka ịma na ndị anyị gwa na ndị anụ can do everything in order to get power. For they believe they can do anything to get power. Fahotalo. But kunu ge ya be if then unu ge see ya. Unu leave us with your own comment on the comment below. Alright, over to you. Over to you, sir.
As many Nigerians look forward to the court date, investigative journalist David Hundeyin took to Twitter to claim that Tinubu is working very hard to stop the judgment. Let's take his tweet. Well, David Hundeyin wrote, "Information reaching me now from an insider is that Tinubu is trying to lean to Buhari to declare a public holiday on Friday, 26 May, which is the date the Supreme Court is supposed to deliver the judgment that could disqualify him." I mean, Dr. Abati, David Hundeyin went further to state that, more information that Tinubu had, gotten about 100 million, naira bribe or something like that to bribe the Supreme Court justices. But we know that David Hundeyin has been investigating Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a while. He has, brought out documentaries, reports, and all that. I don't know what you make of that story.
Well, I don't want to deal with allegations or speculations.
No, the story of the May 26th.
Yes. When a court says it's reserving judgment, it means that it will still give the judgment at a later date.
Yeah.
Hence, the Supreme Court, their lordships, have chosen May 26th, which is 3 days. So people are likely to have anxiety and say, oh, just 3 days to the inauguration. Have we not been presented with a fair complaint? But you recall the case of Lion and Diege, the judgment was given by the court just a day before swearing in, before inauguration. And so if the court says the court is at liberty to take its own decisions. But ordinary Nigerians will say, that's too close. Presidential election, or maybe this is an attempt to dodge. The second matter, of course, is that the point of law that is before the Supreme Court here will be local standing. Because that was the ruling of the three-man panel when the matter came up at the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal, I think it was led by Justice Nyang Ekwa, ruled that, look, the matter lacked merit because, the petitioners lacked locus. Locus is your right to bring the matter, your capacity to bring the matter, and it's as important as jurisdiction. But now that the matter has gone all the way to the Supreme Court, at issue is Section 39, Section 35, and Section 84, Sub 1 and Sub 2 of the Electoral Act. So it's the Supreme Court, that will now look at it and decide whether the Court of Appeal erred in law, whether it arrived at its ruling par incuriam or not. But the justice system, gives you the freedom to go all the way, to the apex court to push your rights. Because the matter is already before the court and their lordships are looking at it, we cannot go further than this. Otherwise, whatever we say will be considered subjudicial.
Absolutely. Well, in the meantime, protests have rocked the Federal Capital Territory as supporters of the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, led by Asari Dokubo, stormed the Presidential Election Tribunal, Petitions Tribunal Court.
This Abuja will go past high school. We don't fight us. All of the Tinubu are free. We are the people of Niger Delta. All of the Tinubu never vote. We don't vote for Tinubu. Anything what they want to make them do. Tinubu is our president. We will stand for Tinubu. We don't do Tinubu.
Well, supporters of the Labour Party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, also held a peaceful protest at the tribunal court and called for their stolen mandate to be returned. Over to you. As you see here, Nigerians are coming out in mass, you know, the whole interaction that is happening right now, it is quite amazing to see. I mean, here we see people from Niger Delta for Tinubu, and then Peter Obi, I was quite surprised to see their supporters out there.
Right of protest is free in the Nigerian constitution. People have a right to protest, be it Asari Dokubo protesting for, Tinubu, or be it, the people protesting in favor of Peter Obi. Everybody has a right to protest as long as it is peaceful and doesn't impinge on the rights of the other person. But protesting, yes, they can have their own part, but most importantly, it is the court that will rule. And the Nigerian judicial system should understand that there's scrutiny on them. And that's why a lot of us were calling to be able to see the telecast of the judgment and the proceedings live. But it is sad now that the court has raised against it. They said logically there's no law on ground for that. But what I had problems with was that obiter, which I thought was insensitive to the pains of a lot of Nigeria when you likening the case to O.J. Simpson and the like. No, the Nigerian court should, by extension, should go and look online. All YouTube is still there. The full proceedings of election petition in Kenya. All right, because you know why I said they should look at it. Mahmoud Yakub, I remember, specially said one of these digitization of INEC they are doing was learned from Kenya. In fact, Mr. Makigini constantly said they used to go and learn how the digitization happens in Kenya, because Kenya first digitized the election process. So maybe our legal system should go and learn from Kenya how you can make things in public glare for public scrutiny to be the order of the day. And it's a pertinent national issue. Oputa panel, because of the severity of the national issue, was put live on television. When Nelson Mandela came in South Africa, when he brought about the Truth and Reconciliation panel, it was shown live on television. So a personal national issue like this could be shown live. But you see, our laws know better. They have ruled in the favor. But people have a right to protest out of court as long as they are peaceful.
Absolutely.
But to a large extent, a lot of Nigerians will still have love case where they can see live. Maybe going forward, we can put such a provision on our jurisprudence so that there can be public accountability across board.
All right. Well, I wanted to.
When, their lordships refer to O.J. Simpson and Oscar Pistorius, although I've not read the full length of the ruling, it was reported that the petitioners themselves raised the example of O.J. Simpson and Oscar Pistorius in their petition. And maybe that's why
it was a false equivalent. There was no cogent argument.
That's what the lawyers put before the court. Maybe that's why their lordships felt compelled to address that. However, even if they did not, they could just have stayed with the points of law.
Yeah.
But the report says that was originally used as example in the petition.
And if it was originally used by the petitioners, I think it was not a strong enough ground. The petitioners could have used a ground like the Kenya Election Petition Tribunal, which is out there. You put up, and those were strong enough grounds. Not mentioning O.J. Simpson's and...
All right.
Well, we'll continue to wait for the court's ruling. We'll continue to wait for what is going to be the outcome of the presidential election tribunal. And like I said before, we might not see this live. And also the reason why many were thinking that, okay, bringing this live would be so good, would be important, is because at least that would put the judiciary, the judges, that will put them in check. That will put them in check, and with that, we might see fair judgment. We might see things coming out in a different way. Even if at the end of the day you come out to tell us that okay, the president-elect Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu remain the president-elect, and or possibly before the judgment is ruled out, he has been sworn in. That okay, he's remained the president of Nigeria. But then people were carried along with the process. They saw what's going on and how you arrived here. We're not hearing it from a third party. We're having like a first-hand information, and that's why we think it's important. Well, like I said, people like say there's a lot of cockroach inside the cupboard. We say they no go want me to come out. And as you don't see, the guy will be say they give vote to Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu don't come out again. Say, oh boy, Oga won't stop judgment. I mean, they won't make them give us holiday, compulsory holiday on the 26th of May. We don't want we don't want any holiday. Courts now, courts we go courts go happen on the 26th, and we go hear what the judge want to say. We want to hear what the court want to say, and then we move from there. Well, I tell some people, and I also made a video I think yesterday or 2 days ago, where I was saying that hey, things like this, especially when you have a leader that has not been approved by people or a set of people, it's gonna bring a lot of worries to the nation, to the country. There will be a lot of protests, there will be a lot of rebellion, there will be a lot of things going on, there will be a lot of group coming up, and we've seen that over the years, whereby the government are not paying so much attention to some group, and from nowhere they become something else, and we're gonna be seeing all those things popping up again, and I pray that God help Nigeria where we are heading to. God will help us where we are heading to. Hey, God will help us. Thank you so much for watching. My name is David Israel. Till I come your way next time, please continue to watch, continue to share, continue to make comments, and God bless you. God bless Nigeria. We'll be hearing from us. Thank you so much.
Careful with the keep mana ya bụ ite esigo n'ọkụ na-asụ, mana ya bụ ite ga-eye oge na-adịla anya, unu ya anụ ụdị ya, maka ite a ga-eye unu ga-anụ na oye eye atụ oge eye ọfụma. Alright, thank you once again for joining us today, and I say make a chukwu kabịa pụrụ mmiri na gozie ụmụ Biafra ise ise ise. Ndị be anyị daalụ ka emesịa.